A chomp full of change for Team Teal, one of the busiest off seasons ever for the San Jose Sharks and for us. We'll recap it all on the finale of Summer Shark Bites here on Teal Town, USA. And with that, we say good evening to you, September 8th, 2024. We are on the cusp of hockey season, everyone. Welcome to Summer Shark Bites here on Teal Town, USA. This is your live interactive summer recap show for everything that happened San Jose Sharks wise and probably a little more. So if you want to be part of the show, chat with us and fellow hockey fans all over the world and, of course, in Sharks territory on the YouTube page or the app. Of course, we encourage you to follow us on the social medias. Find everything at tealtownusa.com. If you want to support the pod, you can hit us up in a live super chat donation, or better yet, hit us up at Venmo at Teal Town USA. And of course, if you're watching us on the replay, leave a comment down below of what you thought of the Sharks off season. As for us, good evening, everyone. It is great to have you with us. I'm Eric Curra, joined by my draft buddies, Jules and the Rocky. It's a rare appearance of a Kevin Lacey.
Look what the cat dragged in. You know we're in the dog days of summer when I make an appearance on the show, but I'm happy to be chatting with you tonight. I think it's going to be a lot of fun here, recapping the summer of fun that has been a Sharks fan, because this is the last positivity that we'll be providing for you for a year.
Oh, come on now. Come on now. Oh, jeez.
Well, we still have opening night, so we still have a few more shows.
Until the Sharks actually play a game, this is the most positive we'll be.
Yeah, exactly.
Ruben already chiming in. Good to see you, but I need your discount card, by the way. I'm pumped for this season. Just bummed they'll be at 9 p.m. start times for me. Well, we appreciate you being on until 2 a.m. for After Dark. That's the biggest thing. So we thank you for that. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. Hello from Fairfield, Bob. Good to see you. Is this pre-recorded? Hell no.
Nah.
Do that. Oh gosh. No. So it's good to see you all again. Let's get into this. It was an off season from frustration to one of hope for the San Jose Sharks. It all ended on a 5-1 loss to the Calgary Flames on April 18th, where Fabian Zerlin scored a power play goal to spoil Gilroy's Dustin Wolves shutout bid in the all NorCal goalie matchup, between Wolf and Ian's favorite goaltender, Devin Cooley.
Who?
San Jose ended up finishing with just 19 wins on the season. I mean, let's be honest here. That was a painful one, gang.
Yeah. The 10-goal back-to-back losses was also fun.
Look, hey, we rode that ride, and it should be better this year. Maybe not by much, but look at where it landed us. The San Jose Sharks got the first overall selection, which is exactly what this franchise of 19 wins desperately needed. So it wasn't all for naught.
Yes, it was a tough one indeed to go through and deal with on that realm. But April 24th, just like a few days after everything went down, the Sharks relieved David Quinn of his duties. Congrats to him on landing a job in Pittsburgh with Mike Sullivan's staff. I mean,
from one rebuild to the next rebuild, good luck.
You got Erik Karlsson. I mean, that'll be good for that. So, but
Pittsburgh fans are gonna hate me in the comments.
Oh goodness, no, they won't. As you tell me all the time, they love you. They really, really love you. I'm trying to find the one video I was more trying to get on here.
Well,
the May 8th one? The one, wait. Oh,
yes.
If you rewind back to Teal Tinted Glass's last off season, actually, no, it was the off season before last. I said I wanted to see the Sharks go 30-52 and have all 52 losses be 1-goal regulation losses. And I'm glad that the Sharks took the under this particular season because 47 points is what it took, and 60 would have landed them what? 6th overall?
Yeah.
So apparently I'm aiming too high these days. So keep setting the bar low, and you'll never be disappointed.
Oh gosh. I mean, last year was just a nightmare. I think
It was. No,
and
for sure.
especially after all that, like you said, Jules, the back-to-back
What did I
10
say?
goal,
Oh,
10
yeah.
goals allowed, and I think tell me if I'm wrong, guys. There was like 4 9+ game losing streaks.
There was a lot.
Yeah.
I lost track. Not gonna lie of the
Overall
9
selection in the 2020.
Oh, great. That's great. That's no, keep going, Jules.
No, but-
Oh no, you're fine. That's like, I mean, like, listen, we had a shitty season, but we got a really good prize, a consolation prize in return. And actually, I'm gonna say we got 2 really good consolation prizes in return for this horrible season, maybe even 3. So yeah.
But see, that's what made this season. I'm glad you brought up the long losing streaks and, like, let's say the 10-1 loss and the other 10-1 loss and the 2-10-2, those types of situations. That's where it becomes very frustrating to sit through a losing season like what the Sharks just had, especially when we're now in an era where the game's not really all that physical. Back in 1995, when the Sharks were a really bad team, you had the bad team, but it was still fun to come out because you'd watch Todd Ewan and Tim Hunter and Dodie Wood just crush fools.
Yeah.
And here it's just a finesse game, and the Sharks are the worst at the finesse game. And so that made it an extra long season. So you get these long losing streaks, right, as opposed to like getting a win every 4 or 5 games. It made it that much harder. So I definitely empathize with the Sharks fans who felt the struggle of the 19-win season that we just had. As much as I make light of it, yeah, it did suck to go through. So hopefully this is the turnaround. This summer was the turnaround, and I feel that it really was. I mean, this is a great summer.
You're a hockey player in this crew. Did the Sharks have a defensive system last year, or did they just find the puck and go chase it?
That's essentially what it was. And that's been my problem from an organizational standpoint. You see it in the Barracuda is supposed to be the future of the Sharks. And when you see the same systematic problems with the Barracuda as with the Sharks.
You see the disconnect and why David Quinn was probably fired, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Just wanted to,
Yes. So Quinn was fired. The search began for the new head coach, but on May 7th, the fortunes of the franchise turned.
24 NHL draft belongs to the San Jose Sharks.
And of course, we had somebody at that party.
Oh my god. I had no voice after that night. Oh yeah, there was also a really funny photo of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the best part. That was the best part.
X8 my reaction video, but you guys is great.
Oh yeah, did it your reaction?
So mad.
I mean, I feel like we all had the same reaction, was just jumping and swearing.
Yeah.
So like, I think at the end of it,
like a tiger
like
to
shark guy. Oh
the
yeah. No, shout out to that shark guy.
Yeah,
everyone complaining about it was really funny also.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy at the draft?
Yeah, the guy at the draft was the one that was like screaming his head off.
Yeah,
Hi, Amanda.
Hello, Amanda. I mean, it was one of those things, and to put a context, and we've kind of mentioned on the show before, I was running late from Pleasanton at a Safeway meeting, and I think I was driving about 90 miles per hour down 680, and I got inside just as I hear, yeah, they're all celebrating and everything, which was nice. So when we did go on the air a half hour late, see, we beat our record here tonight, guys. It was nice to have Doug Bentz say, hey, if you were here, we probably wouldn't have gotten the pick. So nice touch with that. But
something to point out is the Sharks actually won both the first 3 draws, was it, or something? And that was like the first time in history that happened. So they won the first 3 draws, so they had to do a 4th draw, and then Chicago won the second ball. But that was fun. The
That's
hockey
how-
gods for once.
That's how rough of a season the Sharks had.
I wish they could just be like, you get the first 2 picks.
The hockey
Chicago,
gods,
you're 3.
the hockey gods were like, we're going to make sure that you win, and you know it. You're going to win 3 times.
You're going to win 3 times, and it's going to be the first time in NHL history that has happened.
That
And the
was
Sharks
best
also
part.
got the 14th pick in that draft lottery, which we'll get to that later, but they eventually traded that. So
Right. So yes, doing 90 down 680
Oh my
mid
God,
afternoon.
Kevin.
Yes, and yet I'm still here. It was great. It was wonderful. So plans then for all of us decide, okay, are we going or not? Are we going or not? But before we get to Las Vegas, we had signings galore. We had where am I? Come here. We had Luca Cagnoni sign his ELC. We had Will Smith sign his ELC to become the Fresh Prince of Teal Town. I mean, Kevin, it was nice to have these guys sign up because it's like, okay, these guys actually want to be here. They're signing. They want to grow and be key NHL players.
Definitely. I know that we definitely had a disagreement about whether Will Smith should have stayed in college or not. I was of the side that Will Smith should have stayed in college, but the moment that he signed his entry-level deal, that said to me, okay, Macklin Celebrini's coming here too. I think there was,
they're a package. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're either going to send both back to college or neither of them. So the Sharks, they need something to grasp onto. The fans need something to grab onto here. So having Celebrini and Smith is going to be a lot of fun. I do think there is a challenge, and I love the folks who blew up my Twitter saying Smith could be signed to the AHL.
He's not signing.
You really think Will Smith's going to the AHL this season? Let's get real.
I do think, and we'll get to this later in the show, but I do think the Sharks signed a few of the right guys to kind of shelter Will Smith a little. Definitely. Like, don't be surprised if Will Smith, to start off his career, is an absolute power play merchant. Yeah. Like, I'm going to put this out here. I will not be shocked if the Sharks have a top 16 top of the league in the power play with the guys they have right now on the team.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to play the devil's advocate. Also, don't be scared off if Will Smith only scores 8 goals this season.
Yeah.
He's very young, and he's got
raw.
Some room to grow. He has some deficiencies in his game. Outside of that, he can score, and his puck handling is incredible. Outside of that, he's got a lot to work on. I recall a certain 40-goal scorer who he's now rooming with named Patrick Marleau, who did not exactly light the world on fire in his rookie year either. I think there are a ton of similarities between Will Smith and Patrick Marleau. So let's give Smith some time. I think he needs to have some extra rope as opposed to first overall pick, Macklin Celebrini.
But I will say the coach they hired for Will Smith, I think, is the perfect guy for Will Smith.
Yes.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but we'll get to that. I'm jumping the gun, but we'll get to that. But I'll just put out there, I think the coach they hired, perfect guy that'll give Will Smith the rope he needs, and will give Celebrini the rope he needs.
Yes. And so after a 2-month long, search, the Sharks were looking at former Shark Marco Sturm, Ontario head coach, former Wings head coach Jeff Blashill. If you're in our Discord, Jules had his face as her icon for the longest time. Allegedly, they stayed in house and hired Ryan Warsofsky as the 11th head coach in Sharks history, with the pedigree of winning at every level he's been at as a head coach. That is. And he won the Calder Cup with the Chicago Wolves, with the South Carolina. God, help me out. Thank you. I kept thinking for it's like Ghost Stingrays or something like that. Thank you.
You're thinking of the Savannah Ghost Pirates. That's a different state.
Yeah. Yes, but it's like, do they have a cheesy adjective that they added on or something? But Warsofsky as your head coach. I know, Jules, you just mentioned what you think of him, especially with Will Smith. Kevin, what did you think? My mind's boiled
Oh.
like the weather here today.
I understand the move to remove David Quinn as head coach. I thought it would be a little bit better of a situation to have Ryan Warsofsky come in either in the middle of this season when the Sharks have inevitably a poor start, and then use David Quinn as the scapegoat, or just wait until next year when Quinn's contract has run out and then name Warsofsky the head coach. But I understand that, you know, Quinn really didn't have the room, the locker room, and you're bringing in these young players like Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith. You don't want to start them off by having no, that disconnect between your coach and your locker room and the veterans. You need to start fresh. So Quinn was let go. You bring in Ryan Warsofsky, who is one of the hot coaching prodigies in the world. One of them for sure. So we'll see how it goes with that. Just like the team, I think the coach needs a little bit of extra time to kind of build his system the way he wants it to. But I look at Jared Bednar, who was kind of thrown to the wolves in Colorado, which before Cale Makar and McKinnon and everything, Colorado was a dumpster fire. Yep. And Jared Bednar became the head coach while they were still a dumpster fire. And I think they have like 50 something points in his first season, and he turned it around and they became one of the best teams in the NHL the following year. So there is a precedence where, while maybe it's a little too early for Warsofsky, in my book, it shouldn't spoil him, if that's the right word. He'll be able to grow with the team. And yeah, the sky's the limit for him.
He'll also be able to implement the system he wants with the kids coming up. Like, he knows that he has Celebrini and Smith, so he knows like that he has 1 year with them, and the next year they'll add on Musty and that crew. So like he's able to kind of build the system around the young guys, which kind of feels like that's what he should be doing. And then you'll get Dickinson and Mook and all those guys up there. But yeah, and getting Cale Makar also helps. Yeah, no, you're not,
and McKinnon as well,
and McKinnon and Rantanen,
right. And so they go with Warsofsky. Things are moving along nicely. It was June. I mean, things were getting a little cray-cray, as they would say. Big Money Mike with Cap Room started making moves. First was a gift from his friends from the Rangers, picking up Barclay Goodrow on waivers. I mean, it was a nice, surprising pickup.
Game 7.
Game 7. Knock it off. Just because we mentioned Barclay Goodrow, I said stop.
No, play it again. Play it again.
Game 7.
All right, there.
This was one of the moves I didn't like, but I understood it.
I think it looked the optics were pretty bad when immediately after he was claimed off waivers, the report started coming out. Barclay Goodrow incredibly disappointed being claimed by his former team. That's not a good. Now, granted, when you're going from a team that should have gone to the conference or cup finals last year in the New York Rangers to the 32nd overall team, of course he's going to be disappointed. You'd be lying if you said otherwise, but just putting it out there, incredibly disappointed. It's like, oh dear, here we go. We've already sung the what do I want to say? The crybaby antics that Barclay Goodrow had in his reassignment to the San Jose Barracuda many, many years ago. But I think ultimately he became the better player for it. So hopefully this time around he can be a leader with this club and find something different than just being a great penalty killing wizard and a game 7 wizard. Did somebody say game 7?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Stop it.
But but I did it for you. Don't worry.
We broke the thing. All right. You broke the thing when you sit.
I do want to address this. The David B, the Goodrow, we have one Cunnin. Well, Cunnin signed a 1-year deal and is going to be a UFA. I can guarantee you he's not going to be here at the deadline. Goodrow's a guy they just brought in to, help sell. And also he was on their no trade list. So like they basically
Ian.
had to get, thanks Ian. They basically had to like veto the no trade list, and the thing was waivers was the easiest way.
Yeah.
But Cunning's going to be gone. And they do have 3 Luke Cunnings. I cannot wait for the line of Luke Cunnin, Nico Sturman, Barkley, Goodrow. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah, but that should be a really good penalty killing line. And you know what? If you're not going to be able to score goals, you better be able to stop goals.
Yeah.
And as we know, this defense is still very, very poor. So if the forwards can stop them from the opponents from entering the defensive zone,
the defense doesn't have to defend.
Exactly.
There you go.
We're going to play Barkley Goodrow on defense this year. He's going to be our top pair with Mario Ferraro. There you go.
Oh my gosh. So
Some
Goodrow
idiot's going to buy Jess at the deadline. Some idiot's going to buy Luke Cunnin at the deadline. I can call it now.
Hey, if he becomes great at the penalty kill, there will be a market.
Toronto Maple Leafs, Luke Cunnin's all yours. Sorry,
there were kind of rumors about that in the first place already. So, who knows?
Slightly used. Luke Cunnin.
Slightly used. Still think his wife is a better hockey player. Okay, anyways. And it was like, my goodness, Barkley Goodrow, what's next? And then Mike Greer started to.
You want me to do it? I thought you.
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
I'd rather get
We
it
have
live.
some trades to announce.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Glad we rehearsed this.
I thought you had a soundbite for it.
I do, but if I can ever get it live, I'd rather take it live than anything. So, so first off, it turns out Ty Dellandrea comes over from the Dallas Stars for Winnipeg's 4th round pick in 2025. What's he bringing?
Well, we said we need to be able to stop the opponent from entering the defensive zone. Ty Dellandrea has gone from being kind of an offensive-minded player when he was drafted to not really being able to pan out in Dallas's top 6. So he's found a bottom 6 role and developed a defensive game. I mean, it's a lot of the players who don't really quite pan out offensively, they're looking for roles so that they can stay in the NHL game. I mean, look at Barkley Goodrow, for example. He was a goal scorer in the OHL for Brampton back in the day. But Ty Dellandrea is kind of the same thing. He was supposed to be the next I want to say Travis Konechny. That hasn't really happened. So, if you're going to try and stay in the NHL, develop the defensive side. And he has done that. I mean, Dallas has a good defensive system that he's learned from. And so hopefully he can bring that to the Sharks. And hey, guess what? Now the Sharks have 2 penalty killing lines. It's amazing.
Right. And so Dellandrea was the first to come up, and then we had a couple more trades that came out. First would have been kind of one that kind of happened at the deadline a little bit with Ozzy Weisblatt, being loaned out to the Milwaukee Admirals, Kevin Lacey's other favorite AHL team. But then they get something in return. They get Igor. Hang on, let me try to guess it. If you can roll your eyes. Igor Afanasev.
Oh, Igor Afana. Oh man,
You're
sorry.
doing
Yes.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Igor Afanasyev.
Yeah,
There we go.
Afanasyev. There you go. To San Jose, just as a big finished off that swap. I mean, bummer to see Ozzy go, but I think a fresh start for him will be great for him, either in Milwaukee and eventually Nashville, most likely.
Yeah, it was a bummer. Both Ian Reed and myself have been fans of Ozzy Weisblatt because we understand the role that he is projected to play in the NHL. He's not going to be a goal scorer. He'll be lucky to get 10 goals a season if he makes it into the NHL. But he is a grinder, an agitator, and an energy guy. And he sure brought the energy. But being an undersized player, he also got hurt a lot. And for whatever reason, John McCarthy did not want to play him in really any situation, it felt like. So moving him to Nashville early, one theme that I have noticed with Mike Greer is he seems to try and earn favors and earn good rapport with other GMs. He traded Weisblatt early to Nashville, and basically Afanasyev became a player to be named later when you really think about it.
Yeah.
Barclay Goodrow, we took the full salary cap from the Rangers for him. We'll see where that goes. And then we've got other trades coming on later this summer that we'll talk about that, again, building some rapport. So eventually the Sharks will reap the spoils on that. And I think this was one of them. Now, Afanasyev, to me, that was actually a trade in favor of the Sharks. I actually thought that was an upgrade in talent, overall talent, getting Afanasyev. The problem was he didn't want to play in San Jose. And
Wasn't it because he wanted the NHL and then the Sharks just signed too many guys and he just didn't see a path to the shell, basically?
Why Nashville was willing to trade him was because he said, I'm done in Milwaukee. It's time for me in Nashville. I don't know that he is an NHL ready player yet, but he definitely has a lot of upside. Unfortunately, the Sharks couldn't promise him that NHL role, just like Nashville couldn't. So he's off to Russia.
It's okay, we got another one of the Admirals.
Yeah, it just seems like that was a recurring theme here or something. Might be foreshadowing a little bit. But, the funny thing is like it was June, but for some reason, Mike Greer was getting, gifts.
Mike Greer went on a rampage here coming up.
He sent away essentially the future considerations from Ozzy Weisblatt and sent it to Detroit to get defenseman Jake Wallman, and as a nice little sweetener of a gift, Tampa's 2024 second round pick in the draft, which that means at one point, gang, the Sharks had 4 picks in the first 42.
Five picks in the first 53 selections.
And 5 and 53 in the draft. I mean, it was crazy to get and to get, a somewhat young defenseman that kind of has some swagger, as we've seen in the picture.
Jake Wallman was a very highly rated prospect when he was originally drafted by the St. Louis Blues, and it didn't quite work out for him, but boy, he really caught his game in Detroit. And so you hope that he can continue to develop and be a top 4 defenseman with the Sharks. And it wasn't just an aberration in Detroit, but nevertheless, you get a second round pick as well. So the Sharks filled 2 needs right there. We see it a lot, guys, with the fans saying, oh, the Sharks need to be acquiring picks and take on cap dumps and things like that. The Sharks did it a few times here in this offseason. So there should be no complaining. We're getting draft capital here. And this was a nice pickup for the Sharks, both to add a defenseman and to add a second round pick.
Yeah. And that second round pick basically allowed them to kind of trade up, I think, because I don't think Greer would have traded up if he didn't get that other second. And they picked a good player with that pick. Not gonna lie.
Now the big question is, do either one of you know how to do the gritty?
No, and I will not be trying.
They
did upgrade their goal celebrations this year, if you think about it, with some of the players they added. With Wallman and the other guy we'll get to that does the bench presses. They really upgraded their goal celebration. We're getting up there, guys.
Come on. That was probably the other part that we were going to do on the ice yesterday, Jules. Dang it.
No, that was not going to be part of yesterday.
Fine. And so you have Wallman, you get a second round pick, and then you add in a rivalry trade of all things. Kyle Burroughs goes to Los Angeles for Carl Grundstrom.
I forgot this trade happened.
I actually did too.
There was that one of those. It was Greer had so many trades, right around the draft time, and then had stuff during the draft that came through and went through everything. But Grundstrom went from LA to San Jose, and to have, of all places, the Kings. I mean, that's going to be an interesting one to see where Burroughs taps in, if he's in LA or does he get sent to Ontario. I don't know what the Kings defensive depth looks like, but
I'm just glad we got rid of Burroughs. Sorry, I don't mean to be mean, but I didn't like him. He was great and all, and I get why Greer brought him in, but
I liked I liked when the Sharks picked up Kyle Burrows because I expected Kyle Burrows to be the 7th defenseman or be on the top pair of the Barracuda. I did
Yeah.
not expect him to be in the top 4 of the
That's
Sharks
my
last
problem.
season.
Yeah.
That was the problem. He was
Right.
playing over his ability. It's not necessarily that he's a bad asset to have on this team and this organization. He just wasn't deployed properly. Carl Grunstrom's an interesting one. He's another one. He's almost just Swedish Delandria. He came into North America as a goal scorer. That hasn't really happened, so he's had to find other ways to stay in the NHL. Carl Grunstrom's going to be interesting to see where he is in the lineup, because I almost feel like he was a contingency in case some of the other moves didn't work out. The Sharks, as the offseason rolled on, kept picking up piece after piece after piece, and now they almost have too many again
Yeah.
in the bottom 6. But at the time, there was a need to get Carl Grunstrom.
Right. And there were times that this team was actually close to being under the floor. So
Yeah. How much
better
cap
have
space
more
do we
depth.
have now? Like we have
More depth.
We're over now, so we're good.
Yes.
Um,
So
now the moment everyone's been waiting for.
yes, the one we've kind of been waiting for a while to talk about. So, and that is Las Vegas. Oh, yes. I mean,
First off, I love that you're wearing your draft shirt, Jules.
I was told to by Puck Guy.
Oh, well,
Okay.
there you go. Well,
No.
it's awesome. You're wearing your
Okay.
actual draft shirt. So
First-
I am wearing my actual draft
first
shirt.
things first, I was talking about your sweatshirt to talk about.
I told you I gave that to my cousin.
The one you were wearing yesterday.
It's boiling in my room, dude.
It's boiling. Oh my gosh. All right. So then the draft, we've touched on it here and there, but let's be honest, it was fun. It was tiring for all of us.
It was a lot of fun.
And Jules was already in Vegas. That day was the last day at my job at Safeway. I have a visitor. Hi, Marlo.
Oh,
He
Someone
wanted to
wanted
talk about the draft too.
Yeah, he didn't get to go, so
Yeah.
that's the problem. He's watching America's Funniest Home Videos. That's why he's all excited and stuff. So yeah, I land at the airport with Amanda at 11 p.m. We get to our condo, and we run into Jules, and we're like, "Hey, we're hungry. I just won $200 at the airport. Let's go eat." Then out of random nowhere, I think you had texted me, Kevin.
no, we called Kevin.
Or we called
Yeah,
Kevin.
you guys called me, and I happened to. My phone goes on silent at midnight, so I happened to grab my phone to take a photo at the Cosmopolitan, and I see you're calling me. That's what happened.
Yes. And we're like, "Hey, meet us at the Taco Bell Cantina." And sure
And
enough,
little did I know, I was already there. I was only about 95 feet from it. So I was about, folks. So I flew in a half hour before they did, and I was just wandering around, and I was like, I'm calling it a night. I had the biggest bruise you'll ever
my
see
God.
in your life because I blocked a pass off the inside of my leg 2 nights earlier, and it was very painful to walk around. And I was like, you know what? It's 12:30 or whatever. It's time
was
to
late.
walk back to my hotel room. And then I got the call from Puck Guy and Jules.
yes.
Actually, I got the Puck Guy from Puck Guy with Jules screaming at
I was
me
not
in the
screaming.
background.
I
Yes,
didn't
you were.
come. Oh, I was. Dude, I don't
and-
remember that night. I kind of
and
do, but I don't.
the funny thing is that she hadn't had her drink yet. So,
No. Well, I was like very much so sleep deprived that entire week. So like
it was
Oh.
fun. It was crazy. And in the end, there's us all with blue tongues.
I
And-
hate that photo
And
so
and
much.
Jules with her $67
Yeah.
vodka slushy.
That's
that
my
was-
favorite
that was-
part of the story, mostly because it wasn't my money.
To be
But
fair, Amanda was supervising me and she told me to click buttons and I clicked them. So
yeah, And
Yeah.
$67 later.
Yeah.
To be fair, I
67.
did the vodka, like the whole order cost me 67. I also got like a quesadilla, so like it wasn't just the vodka. but,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. So
It was an
That-
interesting mix though, because we all got stomach aches, not from the alcohol, but because of how much sugar was in those drinks.
no
There
kidding.
was so much sugar.
Oh,
And that was giant, and I wasn't expecting it to be that large.
Oh yeah, it was like
so
about the height of the screen that I'm in right
yeah.
now.
I mean,
yeah, it was
Seriously.
large and blue.
like almost the
Um,
height of the Stanley Cup, to be quite honest.
And
So
then it was 3 a.m. and we all
was-
left.
3 a.m. we all left, and where were we at 8:30 in the morning? We were filming promotions for this. In matching shirts, which is really getting us really all riled up. Draft day, my friend. Ready to get to Sully with Celebrini?
Let's just be happy we have Celebrini.
Yes, but 11th.
Yeah,
Oh,
that I don't
that-
know what's happening.
yeah.
I think it's Cole Eiserman.
You think it's Cole? See, I think they're
I
not
was
then
very
gonna be able
wrong.
to get-
Steve,
Yeah.
if they do that, I don't think I'll make it out of this day alive. And I didn't.
Stay on our socials throughout the day. We'll be checking in here and there, of course, on YouTube. So there was that. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
this
Kevin.
is a good opportunity to say, folks, if you're new to the show, as Eric was about to say in that video, please subscribe down below.
Oh, yes.
We forgot to cover the other trade that they did the day before the draft. I'm just realizing.
The
trade up.
the
'Cause
trade
they
up,
did that
yeah.
before the draft. Yeah. So for those of you who weren't following, the Sharks took the 14th pick and the pick 42
Yep.
and traded it to Buffalo to move up to 11. And two players were there that I was not expecting to be there, and I was having a stroke. But we'll get there.
But
We'll
I
get there.
liked that trade even when it happened. Like I remember the
Yeah.
Islanders and the Blackhawks made a trade earlier in the month,
So
and
weird.
it was
yeah.
it was 18 for 20 and something else.
Right.
And you never see those trades that far in advance, let alone a day in advance of the draft. Like usually you want to see what's out there. And so you saw that trade, and then you see the Sharks trade from 14 up to 11th pre-draft as well. I liked the Sharks move though, because you knew you'd get a great player at 11.
I think
at
Greer
14,
knew- yeah.
you needed somebody to fall at that point.
I think
So
Greer
Mike-
knew one of the defensemen would have been available at 11.
Yeah, Mike Greer was determined to get a top player and not wanting to risk someone falling at 14, which is actually ended up what happened. But
Yeah.
Kind of.
But again, he ensured that they were going to get somebody that they wanted, and I commend him for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a gutsy move, I think, to just move up 3 spots, but they had the draft capital to do it. So of course we went for it, just like we went to go get Starbucks for Amanda and Jules. I'm gonna say on full disclosure, because she's like beaming to say I was trying to do whatever.
We got lost in a parking lot.
Yes, and we weren't the only ones that were following the walking
God.
directions to Starbucks, and ended up in an alleyway in a parking lot at Harrah's. And like, oh my god! But
True story.
What time of the morning was this, by the way?
8:30.
Like
8:30.
8:30.
30.
We only had like 4 or
4
5
hours
hours
to
of sleep.
Yeah, so I wasn't there with you because I woke up about 9:30. So again, at 12:30, I was ready to turn around and go back to my hotel. I didn't go to sleep till 4:30 that night. So I was still asleep while y'all were getting lost in the parking lot. And then at 9:30, I went, forget this. And I went back to bed and stayed until 11. So
So that was fun. We
tired
eventually
people.
found it and everything. Got back to our condo, and then we went onward. I think we barely drank the coffee and everything, and turned around and went to the where they had the unveiling of the Fanatics jerseys there, which was quite cool to see up front in person. And to see all these, especially all 32, with the exception of Utah, wasn't completely ready. I know they were really trying to push hey, these things are not going to mess up too much. as we've seen with Matty Beniers in his practice jersey. But I digress. But I mean, they look really close to the realistic things here, and I think down the road, I think you'll be okay. Like if I had the money, I would probably do the $400 jersey as long as the Sharks give me the discount for it. That'd be great. But I mean, really nice. They look really strong and everything. I mean, like if they had dimples and an Adidas logo, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference on there. So I want to give a shout out for that. But more importantly, met a great YouTuber. If you haven't followed him, his name is Chris from Aesthetics. He is really solid on all his hockey uniform info and everything. He had an interview with the Kings management and
some
Ducks
great
management
videos this summer. I've watched probably half a dozen or more of his videos this summer. He's put out some really good content.
Yeah. And the whole thing about us meeting together as well is that I showed him one of the prototype jerseys that I have. So that'll be in an upcoming prototype video that he's going to do.
Oh, cool.
We're thinking about doing something as well. I'm trying to get the Sharks to see if they'll let me have a part of it. Like, let me see if there's any other stuff that we can share. Obviously, when I talked to Terry Smith a few years ago, it was a opening of plethora of concepts and ideas that he had, especially that whole Tiger Sharks look in neon green. That's on our YouTube channel, so check that out. But Chris from Aesthetics, it was great to meet you over there. It was a great time. The other thing too is that Fanatics did give us some swag. Jules isn't wearing it because it's boiling in
I
her room.
Also forgot. I'm gonna be honest. I thought you told me to wear the draft shirt. So
no. I would say make sure you wear the hoodie tomorrow if you can. But then we would switch. But this is the Made in Canada.
Welcome to the fashion show.
Yeah, this is the fashion show part of the program. Kevin's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, what did I sleep in through? I mean, Randy, you were out in 100-degree heat at 9 a.m, but
yeah, that's the truth. And trust me, I wouldn't wear this in 90-degree heat, but this is the hang on. Oh. AJ's probably killing me right now. With my
here.
Hang on.
Insert.
See, I don't know music.
Yeah, it was so hot. The only time that I ever saw it below 90 degrees was the morning that we all flew out, or Eric and I flew out. So
yeah. So well, that means that could be one GoFundMe for Puck Guy's jersey, or a birthday gift can be for the black jersey. That's all I'm saying. Tiger, did somebody say Tiger Sharks? Yes, Tiger, you need to look that up on our YouTube channel by all the times.
I don't know if this is a Tiger shirt,
but yeah, anyways, this is a thick as heck shirt. They gave us swag bags, from their Made in Canada line. Jules has a hoodie, which is really nice and really strong.
It's very comfortable and very warm. You'll see me in it because of the ice skating video.
Right. So there's that with the program. It has like elevated materials, construction details. It's super thick. So yes, if it's made in Canada, you want it to be thick, especially for the cold months. But it's got like a vintage dye that they use for softness and subtle variation. So it has that authentic look over time, super thick and special dyes and all that fun stuff. So just wanted to give a shout out for what they gave us. This wasn't a paid, as I almost fell.
That'd be funny.
No, that wouldn't be funny. Stop it. So a lot of that was a lot of fun, and then we finally got a nap in and headed over to
we just ate Chipotle.
Yeah, and then I laid down. Yes. This is not Kevin. Stop it. This is not the paid promotion part of the show.
So y'all went to Chipotle. I went to a brewery and I had a great time. So you keep your swag. Actually, I do have something that I could go get from the brewery. It has nothing related to hockey. But I had some beer and some lunch, and I got this weird duck thing, and it was cool. So y'all keep your fanatics, whatever.
Wait. Weird duck thing.
Wait, back up. Weird duck thing?
I'll go get it.
Go get it.
Go
So
get it.
while he gets that, we'll say, we head to the actual draft where, my goodness, the Sphere was incredible venue for this. I mean, Jules, they have to go back to this, right?
If they decentralize the draft after doing the Sphere, I'm gonna be pissed.
Right. I mean,
Like it was sick.
it was incredible on what they had in there. And do I have it here? Yeah. Well, you know what? While Kevin's doing that, let's just get to the special moment without the screaming sharks fan in there. I mean, just the whole.
Dude, the graphics on it are insane.
Yeah. No,
The
it was.
graphics are ridiculous. Like some of the like things they did. Oh, is there audio to this?
There. Well, we can't really play it
Oh,
because
never mind. So I will broadcast it for you, I guess. Oh, the duck thing is here also.
the duck thing is here. And
So
Shout out to the fans that walked directly in front of us as they were making their pick. I
Oh,
don't know if that's cut
gosh.
out in the video, but shout out to y'all.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, I was just gonna say I got this little pan duck thing. So the brewery that I went to was the home of the Atomic Duck. I wish I could actually remember the name of the brewery right now, but yeah. So I got this little.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
Tiger, get your memes.
Get your memes. But yeah, here was the special moment we were all waiting for.
I'd like to thank our great fans here and around the world.
Damn right.
And a big shout out to our draft party at the Shark Tank. We really appreciate your guys' support. And I'd also like to congratulate Glenn Sather on her terrific career in hockey.
Sure, if you say so.
Making our selection will be one of the greatest passers of all time. Former #1 overall pick and Sharks great, Joe Thornton.
I think that was Hockey Church that was screaming that loud.
No, I think,
So, yeah,
well, I think
I'm
it's a
just
mix of
saying.
all of us.
Oh,
combined.
I was trying not to blame us for it, but but,
No, you can definitely hear my voice.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
lazy.
But just look at how cool the Sphere is. Look how much,
First
like,
overall selection
how huge the
in
screen
the
is.
2024 NHL Draft, the San Jose Sharks are very proud to select from Boston University.
And of course, we have to cut out the music because we'll get in trouble. But I mean, the video doesn't do justice of how crazy this venue was, gang.
I
It's
wish
unreal.
I'd sent you my video of this because I have the shot of Celebrini with all his family right now because I
Oh.
was sitting only about 2 sections over from him.
If you can shoot it via text, go for it. I can try and sneak it in here for
So,
sure. But
Lacey, tell us, is Macklin Celebrini good?
Yeah, he's I mean, I think he's at least a B level prospect.
oh my god.
At least a B plus.
At least a
prospect.
B, like at least a solid B plus,
Yeah.
So bad. You guys are really? Oh my gosh.
I just
No, but-
here's the bruise I was mentioning earlier, by the way, folks. So there you go. I wasn't lying.
right. So this was a fun special moment. Let alone you're being in the Sphere where the visual and the audio effect are just phenomenal. But I mean, then to have it be that moment where he's putting on the number 71 jersey, which didn't say Knizhov on it yet, but we're getting there on that one. But it was nice to see that all happen for sure.
And now he's living with Jumbo.
Since we're at that, thoughts, gang? We'll kind of go out.
Oh, I love it. I saw a really funny thing where it's like a meme and it's like Jumbo, Celebrini, Smith, and Marlowe, and then just says Full House on top of it.
Shark City did that. Yep.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
No, I mean, this was our prize, like lovingly put. This was the like consolidation prize to this horrible season. And
oh gosh,
again, he gives very much so Andrei Kopitar, Alexander Barkov like player. He's an ice rat, rink rat for sure, based off what I saw in development camp. He's good. I like it.
He might be good.
He might just be good.
And we're kind of jumping around here, but I mean, showed a little bit of his thing at the prospect scrimmage, but not too much. I'm really looking forward to this coming weekend to the rookie face-off, playing 5-on-5 and seeing how that's going to be. So hockey jerk face reveal. Nope. Nice try. We will say he was holding the camera when we did the finale check-in during our draft coverage. And while we're at that, I want to say a big shout out to Ian and Mark for doing a phenomenal job again with the draft coverage this year. Of course, AJ getting Becker, Bentz, Hannon, of course, Puck Mom's fave, Stud Muffin and a half, aka Drew Remenda on the coverage. So that was a good time on there. But Ruben, it's got to do something to his confidence living with the best passer in the world.
Yeah. So. William Mecklen's gonna have fun, be very good friends with Macklin Celebrini,
right?
Shortly.
Right. So, all right. Let me see if I can get this quickly over here. I'm glad I should have asked if you had any extra stuff, my friend, on there. Let's it. Yep, we got it. All right. Let me see if I can move it over here. 7451. But I mean, overall, the whole experience, gang, totally. A great experience all around. I mean, and Kevin, since you got to be down closer, what did you think in that area?
2023-24, Macklin Celebrini was named the winner of the 2024 Hobie Baker Memorial Award, Hockey East Player of the Year, and Hockey East Rookie of the Year. Celebrini is the fourth freshman in NCAA history to win the Hobie Baker Award, following Adam Fantilli.
I'm muted.
Jack
Yeah, you can cut it.
And Paul Curry.
Well, they got the showgirls.
Because that was the thing. I thought it was so cool, the spectacle and the show of the entire thing. They made it as Vegas as they possibly could, and I was like, "Whoa, they got showgirls for this? This is crazy!" So. I just sent you the Sam Dickinson video. That's the one you're going to want to show. But
I'm scared.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it was just the Sphere was the wildest, the coolest venue that I've ever been at. Like I saved the water bottle that I took, and because I mean it was $7, so why not? Yeah, like it was just what an event! What a whole thing. I won an Upper Deck fan for the. How hot it is, and
oh my God, what was it? 115 when we left.
110. Hey, did you know that Connor Bedard was the first overall pick last year? So we got that. I got these like random card things.
Yep.
And I know you guys know. Oh, yeah, Sam Dickinson. Don't play this yet.
Don't play this yet.
Copyrighted music. Also,
well, if we're talking over, we can get away with it.
Oh,
yeah, don't play that yet because we got to set up Sam Dickinson.
Okay, well, so Celebrini goes 1, and then Jules is like, okay, all right, that kind of works. Oh, they picked that guy.
Should I read? Okay, well, basically we had a group chat with, I think it was Puck Guy, and because Hockey Jerk was sitting kind of next to us, he bought like last minute tickets, and throughout the entire like first round, Jerk and I are just looking at each other and going, "We're still good. We're still good." We're still good. Like throughout those whole picks, I was basically banking on Ottawa taking Yakimchuk. By the way, shout out to Ottawa for taking Carter Yakimchuk.
I was about to say we're not big fans of Carter Yakimchuk. Not that he's a bad player.
Not that he's a bad player.
That I don't think he's the type of player that this organization needs at this time. I mean, everyone wanted to complain about Erik Karlsson for years. So
yeah. And basically when pick 10, I think the jersey took Salayev and the Sharks were left between Buyam and Dickinson. What I will say to this, to everyone who's like, I wanted Zeev Buyam, trust me, I also wanted Zeev Buyam. I know. We know my love for Zeev.
Yeah. So for me, I was texting with my friends and I was like, Parekh, Salayev, Buyam, Dickinson. And I specifically wrote Dickinson is far removed from those first 3 in my personal opinion. And I definitely like Dickinson, which you will not get from the video that Eric is about to play. But Sam Dickinson is a fine young prospect who has a lot of upside, being a 6'3" physical, mobile defenseman. He's exactly what the Sharks need. I just think there is a bigger element of it not quite working out with him versus the other defensemen that were.
I honestly thought he was one of the safer ones out of like because honestly, I had more doubts about like I really liked Parekh. I was definitely hoping for Parekh or Bouillon, but I honestly felt like Dickinson was a safer pick. I don't know. But like Dickinson, I think it stings more just because Bouillon was available there. And I think if Bouillon wasn't there and he was already off the board, Sharks fans would probably be a little more appealing. But Dickinson is still a good defenseman. He was one of the youngest in the draft, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And he's 6'3", 210 pounds. He's a big boy. Mike Greer's building a big blue line.
Tiger wrote, Dickinson seems like he's got the best ceiling of all defenders, and I completely agree with that. That's why I'm fine with the Sharks picking him, and I really think that's who the Sharks were targeting from the beginning anyway.
Because I think Mike Greer said in his press conference he was surprised Dickinson was still available, and honestly, so was I. Because GMs typically are salivating at a 6'3", 210 pound. He also, I think at the combine, him and I believe it was EJ Emery tested 3% for body fat. Yes. Something ridiculous like that. His athletic results were ridiculously good. And so, yeah.
But you go ahead, Eric.
No, I was going to say, if it's 6'3", I mean, shoot, that's 2 inches short. I hope he has a trust fund and
blue eyes.
Yes. Just saying.
Now at this point, I think it's safe to play the video, and
I'm scared.
I'm scared. Kevin's going, what the hell?
By the way, so I'm sitting next to two very loud Blackhawks fans, so they definitely got how I was feeling in that particular moment when.
Yeah, Lacey had a really fun time at the draft, guys. I don't think you understand how much fun Lacey had.
I'm
fans were driving everybody nuts in our section. So
I'm sure it was a Blackhawks guy that was actually screaming for the Celebrini.
Wait, where's the audio?
Unmute, because
unmute. Yeah.
Come on.
I just got to make sure that we don't get caught in.
Keep talking, people. La di da di do. La la.
The San Jose Sharks are proud to select from the London Knights of the OHL, Sam Dickinson.
Okay. Yay!
Dang. Okay. You're that excited.
Yeah. So what was all muted earlier was me going, come on,
yeah,
come on. And then it was Sam Dickinson. Okay.
Oh, come on.
Oh, Lordy.
YouTube, just let us talk over music. I mean, that's just crazy.
And then the Blackhawks fans go, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it.
Shout out to those Blackhawks fans.
That's great.
No, I mean, like, again, I think it sung more just because Bouillon was available, but Dickinson's really good, and I think he'll work out his little kinks. He definitely has some
I'll tell you what,
problems.
Let's say that Zeev Bouillon went 7 to Ottawa, and it's Yakimchuk and Dickinson.
Yeah, we will be banging the table. Yeah,
would have been, oh, woo, ah!
But let's be honest, the best reaction on day one was Beckett Seneca's reaction.
Like the complete shock in that kid's face, because I don't think anyone had him ranked that high.
No. Well, Anaheim did.
Yeah,
Anaheim did.
One report.
Because I saw him. He was a target for me on the Sharks for 14 when the Sharks still had that pick. He was one of the guys I was like, if you can get him, that'd be awesome. Because I think he's a good, like, he would be good fit with like Smith and stuff like that. But like at 3,
I thought he was going to jump to about 8.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3. I know you guys know this story, but for those of you who I've not spoken with over the summer, I was sitting off to the side of the stage, as you just saw. And so the players would walk off right to where I was sitting. And Beckett Seneca, as soon as he got off the stage, he took his hat off and did one of these like, oh what just happened? Oh my God. And I wish I could have gotten that on film because it was not on TV, but he was just completely floored. Not just what you saw on TV, but like as soon as he got off the stage, just like pacing around.
I'm curious if the duck gave him any, like, if he had any. I don't think he had any suspicion he was going that high. I think he was. I think he thought himself he was going to go like 6 to 12. I thought he would be a landing for Utah, to be honest. But like, yeah, it was a fun reaction though.
Yeah. No. But that whole first round that night was a good time all around. Memories made for sure, and especially if Celebrini and or Dickinson pan out, it'll be something that we'll remember for a very long time.
Yeah. Plus, you guys moved down and sat with me for the second half of round one.
Did.
And that was fun too.
Yeah,
I guessed most of the picks correct. I would just like to put that out in the air. I was like, I think at least got 25 of the 31 right. So
I didn't know you had Jeff Merrick's number.
Oh.
And I love Jeff Merrick, and I am so bummed.
I knew something. I knew something was up because I've DM'd Jeff Merrick before and gotten responses without any issues. And I'm pretty sure we were staying at the same hotel, and it went radio silence. And because I was staying at the hotel with a bunch of the Sportsnet guys, and then other hockey prospects ran into a few of them. It was pretty cool. But when Jeff Merrick didn't respond to me, I actually thought, now, I mean, again, who am I? But he has responded every time I've messaged him in the past. So until that draft. So that should
I love Jeff though.
It's a bummer. It's a bummer. But Kyle Bukauskas, not bad for
he has the best hair.
Oh my God.
Shout out to that dude's hair. It's a gel head, but it's great. I love it.
Super jelly of that hair. So day 2 comes. Jules has a tryout for a play.
I did have a tryout
she
for a
leaves
show.
at 4:30 in the freaking morning.
Yeah.
I
did try it, and I did the pod with Ian that night.
Yeah. So, So it's myself, Kevin, Amanda comes in after she worked the first round at our hotel.
I won a Joe Pavelski jersey card, so that was my other.
Can we talk about the Sharks' first pick though in that second round and what a steal it was? Now I actually kind of know why he fell, but still. Lacey, who did they take at 33 that we were both
Sharks took Igor Chernyshov at 32nd overall, which if you go back and listen to the draft, I'm very certain I was definitely not the person in round 1 screaming at Macklin Celebrini, even though I was screaming. I'm pretty sure I was the guy screaming for Chernyshov's pick at 32, if you go back and listen. Anyway, that was a fantastic pickup for the Sharks because he was definitely projected to go between 20 and 32. So for him to fall to 33 there in round 2 was quite surprising for us. So it was also nice. What was that?
It might have been because he needed shoulder surgery.
Well, we now know that, but it was also very nice to see that the Sharks took at 33rd overall what everyone was screaming at them to take at 33 overall. So,
and then they pick up Leo Wolonius.
I like that pick also.
Yeah, I liked that pick too. I wanted Leon Mugli, who went the pick
right before. Yeah.
And so I was a little disappointed in that moment. But then when the Sharks drafted Salim Valenius, I was perfectly fine. I was very happy.
And then go on to pick up Carson Wesh in the 3rd round.
Basically a taller Ethan Cardwell.
Yes.
While we were, taller Ethan Cardwell. Exactly. While that was all happening, though, during a commercial break, which I also heard most of the Sharks picks happened during.
They did.
But during the commercial break, a certain Vegas Golden Knight of the
oh my God,
we got to set this up.
20 minutes before an autograph session that he was going to have on the floor.
So Kevin had already I think he had already taken your Upper Deck card picture yet.
No, that was after.
Or that was after. Okay, so I was in line
to get it. And then they said, "Oh, you have to come back. There's a Logan Thompson autograph session happening right now."
Yeah.
Oh,
So I was like,
so
"Oh,
funny.
okay." So I went back to the seat.
Well, I was in line with Amanda to take the picture, and the Golden Knights fans are lining up, and the gal was really nice. She's like, "Logan Thompson's my favorite player. I'm so excited." Like everything. And then we hear the horn go off, and look what happened next. Oh no!
Dang, yeah. I was trying to catch that in time to send it to my buddy.
That trade alert thing comes up quick, by the way.
Vegas Golden Knights have traded Logan Thompson
Whoa!
in exchange for pick number 83 in the 2024 NHL Draft and Washington's own third-round pick in the 2025 NHL Draft.
Wow.
The fans were not happy.
No, they were stunned.
Like half of them were stunned and half of them were booing.
Right. and like people are saying, LOL Lacey's reaction, that gasp. So the gal that was next to me that was in line started bawling.
Oh my God.
I mean, I felt so bad for a Vegas Golden Knight fan for the first time. It was, you know, that, I mean, that's painful. That's painful to experience. And then the guy comes out like 20 minutes, you said 20, 30 minutes later, as a member of the Washington Capitals. So good on them for that. But
I should have sent you that photo of the sign that
Oh yeah, that was a fun sign.
But isn't it ironic though that there was a lot of discussion about the Golden Knights would not trade their 2024 first round pick to the Sharks for Tomas Hertl because they wanted to have
a splash.
They wanted to have a pick at their own draft that they were hosting in Las Vegas. So they did do that. But then to trade their top goalie, sorry Aiden Hill, their top goalie on day 2 of the draft. I mean, the reaction said
Stanley
all
Cup
right
champion
there.
Aiden Hill.
Stanley Cup champion Aiden Hill. Don't get me wrong. And again, I don't hate him.
No.
But I definitely think that Washington got a steal. And we would later find out towards, I think, round 6 of the draft that Logan Thompson had actually asked for a trade. Now, I did not stand in line to go see him, but it worked out for me. I got to meet him anyway. I ran into him on the floor. So
Did you also meet Chernyshov?
I didn't meet any Sharks. None of the Sharks were walking around.
Oh, you got a picture with Chernyshov.
No, I did.
That was Puckeye. Okay.
Yeah, I got in PR was like, "What are you doing in a hockey jersey?" But okay, but it's funny.
Wetch is the Sharks' 12th best. Oh, 13th. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry,
but nonetheless, Kevin Lacey got drafted, and he took an epic photo, which made me want to rethink my card. I mean, like
after the Logan Thompson draft trade.
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh, why didn't I think of that when I was taking my draft picture? Like, oh man. But
again, I will throw it out. It's the drinking game part of the show. If the San Jose Barracuda are in need of a 41-year-old right shot defenseman, there's my draft photo right there.
Just clear the physical and you're good. You know,
I'm on the younger side of 41, by the way.
Hey, if Chris Chelios could play till what 46, or Yammer Yager can play in his 50s, I mean, why not?
Perfect.
You know, so during that draft, we finally realized why Celebrini was able to wear 71. The Sharks and Knizhov would mutually terminate the contract. You know,
didn't they buy him out?
I thought it was a mutual contract breakup.
Anyways, keep going. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
But also at the same time, you know, Luke Cunnin and Justin Bailey re-sign up. That just, and news was just coming out left and right and everything. And I'm like, wow, this is like a chaotic thing, you know. So
didn't Greer make another trade after this also? No, he didn't. I lied.
Nope. So Kanishov,
The
adios.
Sharks
Thank
did,
you.
but it was like a draft pick for draft pick trade. In
Oh,
fact,
that's
I
what it
believe
was.
they
All right.
traded up to take the pick for Salim Valenius. If I
Or no, was it Wetch? Because they had two.
Maybe it
They
was
traded up
Wetch.
for
I thought
Carson.
it was
They traded
Wedge.
up for Carson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was
So-
thinking of.
Yeah.
And just to finish that whole week-long craziness, then free agent frenzy happened, and I mean, this is the first time they were really active in that sense. Getting Tyler Toffoli, the guy who won a cup with the frickin' Kings in the reverse sweep series and all that fun shit. Okay, but 55 points over last year, 4 years, 6 mil. AAV full no move. He wanted some stability after he's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, the guy practically was on 6 teams in the last 4 years, so I don't blame him. Plus, his wife is from the Central Valley. So, gang, I'll start with you, Lacey. Tyler Toffoli coming here. What do you think? It seems like it's all good in my mind.
So yeah, it's a great pickup. The thing with the 4 years, Tyler Toffoli does have this tendency. I mean, he's bounced around quite a bit, but he does have a tendency of making an immediate impact and then kind of fizzling out, almost like he settles in too much into the teams that he has been joining in recent years. But the thing that I really like about this, because originally I thought buyer beware. Why is Tyler Toffoli bouncing around so much? He's basically every other year he's getting traded. A big thing came out about the reason Tyler Toffoli signed a 4-year deal was because he wants stability. He wants to stay somewhere for a long time. And so to me right there, that shows some good solid leadership that the Sharks need. With their young incoming group. So he brings some scoring talent, a lot more than what Hockey Jerk and I thought Mike Hoffman was going to bring. So yeah, he's definitely an offensive. Hey, we both really thought Mike Hoffman was going to work out.
Yes.
But Tyler Toffoli definitely brings a lot of offensive dynamics that the Sharks do not have. And I think he's going to complement Will Smith, if anybody, extremely well.
Yeah, I think because you don't want to leave the keys to just Will Smith and Celebrini and be like, go into our top 6 and you get to play with Luke Cunnin. So like it's nice that they went out and signed like a guy like Toffoli, because I do think he'll complement Smith and Celebrini both really well, and he'll help out Eklund and Zetterlund. Poor guys were let out to dry. So I liked the signing at the time. It's a good signing.
Yeah. They also picked up Alex Wenberg, who was in Seattle at the beginning of the year, got moved to the Rangers for their playoff run. Another pickup, which I think will add some stability and some help in case Logan
Couture
Couture
still hasn't skated. Has he even skated since we last did it? No. Like, I'm genuinely like, I don't want to put this out there, and this is not me. When they signed Wenberg, I basically said this is Couture's Greer either knows something or this is just Couture insurance, and it's good. He's defensively responsible. He can help out the kids. I know it's a lot for 2 years for $5 million, but the Sharks have a retention spot starting next year again. So
let me bring Dellandrea and Grundstrom back up.
Right.
It's the same theme. Alex Wenberg was like what, 6th overall, 8th overall, something like that. An offensive minded player, and the offense hasn't actually, I shouldn't say it hasn't come. He's been kind of a late bloomer offensively, but he has become a great defensive center. And so he's the type of player who Dellandrea and Grundstrom can look to and say, hey, we kind of all have the same, I don't know, hockey upbringing. How did you do that, Alex? We want to, like they can hopefully become like Alex Wenberg, and then there's another 2 defensive monsters on the bottom 6. So.
You might be onto something that the Sharks are just banking that their forwards are just never going to allow anyone in the zone.
Yeah,
that's why Greer's just sticking with the shitty defense, because he's accumulated basically a ton of like, we're solid defensively. We're going to have our forwards do a lot of the heavy lifting right now defensively until we can fix our actual defense. And now I don't know if that won't win you a lot of games, in my opinion, but it's a progress.
Yeah.
Did you just fall?
No, I almost fell.
But I liked the Alex Wenberg signing. Now the salary was a bit high, but as you mentioned earlier, the Sharks also needed to make sure that they reached the salary floor. That's still a thing in this league.
What?
And so to me, the Sharks have so much cap space that Alex Wenberg, you'd like to see him sign for $1 million or $2 million less. Now, Alex Wenberg would beg to differ, but from the Sharks' perspective, you'd like to see him sign for a little bit less. Is it going to kill the Sharks? It's absolutely not. And he's going to bring a lot of good intangibles. So I really like the signing. I think it's a good fit.
Also, the Sharks now have the hottest guy in the NHL. So there you go. There's that for you. Welcome back, Puck Guy.
Sorry.
Did you just change jerseys, Mitch?
I might as well. I last thing I need is to spill on a prototype jersey. Thank you, Eric Bottomer, by the way, on this one.
We were just saying that Wenberg's now the hottest. The Sharks now have the hottest guy in the league.
You were saying, let's not go with.
I was saying that.
I still love Luke Cunning's smile. So.
Oh my god.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold up, because if you've been on our Discord, we all know how badly Jules wants to.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying Eklund isn't. I'm just saying, like, if I think there was a poll taken, like, nationally, I think Wenberg's definitely up there. You know what I mean?
Wenberg is an absolute beaut. All right.
He is.
So,
anyways,
I get
moving
that.
on.
As Jules turns full red now.
I'm just.
Coming up next, Chuck Woolery joins the show.
Oh no!
Oh god, no!
Hey, Chuck, why did you f up and leave Wheel of Fortune? Anyways,
we'll see you in two.
I love how we lost 2 viewers as I was saying that.
Oh jeez!
Shout out to you guys.
Viewers in two.
So continuing on here, San Jose add some depth help for the to at least for me for the CUDA, or when we lose like 5 defensemen, Luke and Carlson and Jim Schultz. Your thoughts? We'll throw in Colin White for that matter too.
Oh,
sure.
And
throw in Colin White. No, but
man,
I was so excited when the Sharks signed Lucas Carlson and Jimmy Schultz for the Barracuda, because that they instantly became the 2 best defensemen on that team. And you get
how about Mukhamadullin?
You get veteran leadership. I still think Mukhamadullin has a shot of being spending at least half the year with the Sharks.
Yeah, same. Oh, actually.
But you because there is a lot of youth. That blue line for the Barracuda this season is completely overhauled, which was very badly needed. But you bring in 2 defensive pillars, veteran pillars. Lucas Carlson scored a hat trick against the Barracuda last season as a defenseman. So
he did.
And he was an all-star. And Jimmy Schultz has gone to the Calder Cup finals each of the last 2 seasons as a top 4 defenseman for the Firebirds. So those are 2 very valuable pieces for this team that Cagnoni and Furlong and hopefully a healthy Gannon Larocque can learn from.
Lacey, I want to ask you, do you think Cagnoni actually makes this blue line? Because I believe, and someone can yell at me if I'm wrong, but I believe he can still be sent back to juniors.
And if he can, I believe he should, because there are too many pieces on the blue line. Right now, I'm on as much as I like the guy personally, I'm on the please trade Walteri Pulley front, because they got to start moving some pieces out on that back end there.
They also signed that center, Andrew Podorowski.
So then they signed Andrew Podorowski, a teammate of Jimmy Schultz each of the last 2 seasons, and a former 100-point player in the AHL, which is almost unheard of. So Podorowski there was a nice article by a fellow from Buffalo actually wrote about him, because I believe Podorowski is a New York native, a Western New York native. So go check that out on the AHL.com. But Podorowski is still holding out hope that he can make the Sharks this season amongst the glut of players that are on this roster. But I mean, he is he could be a call-up at some point. But I think right now he's the de facto captain for the Barracuda. So real solid moves as the Sharks transition the Barracuda into finally becoming the next generation of Sharks.
Yeah.
At least we hope. And watching those
Colin Graff's gonna love that guy.
Absolutely.
So will Daniil Gushin.
Daniil Gushin. Yeah. I mean, Gushin technically should be a 35 goal scorer in the AHL with Podorowski as his center.
Yeah. And then you add like Haltnen, who might make the team. I don't know where he fits this year, but he probably goes back to juniors though. Sorry,
I think he
everyone.
goes back to juniors, but he's
Sorry,
another
everyone
one.
in
He looked
chat.
really good at the rookie camp too.
A lot of people looked good at rookie camp. I kind of wish Musty played in the AHL this year, not gonna lie. But no, the CUDA actually might be good, and I've been saying that. And especially with someone else they got recently. Yeah,
Was that
anyways.
Colin White?
Oh yeah, Colin White, and then they also signed Colin. Well, no, that's not the guy I was referring to. Who that they might be good, but like Colin White's another guy. He signed to an ATO, I believe.
Yeah, you
or
mean
is
a
it
PTO?
PTO.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a PTO.
It's kind of funny because I remember when Ian and probably Zach and I did a draft show many years ago. I remember saying, I really thought the Sharks were going to draft Colin White. Well, he eventually made it to his way to San Jose. So. That's another that was a surprising signing for me though, because the Barracuda are really heavy on the right side. And I think that Colin White, you start running into a problem of give the young players some opportunity. Ethan Cardwell was a sensation last year, and now he's kind of getting shoved into a third line role again. Now, granted, part of the process of the AHL is you need to beat out the other players who are on the roster if you want to be in the NHL. And so there's another stepping stone, hopefully, for Ethan Cardwell to make it to the NHL. But I do wonder if Greer went a little too overboard.
Isn't there a rule where you can only have 6 veterans? I don't know if Colin White counts
you can only have
as
6 veterans.
Does Colin White can't make that? I don't know, but
he does hit that because the NHL games also count towards that. So
yeah, so
with
there's
the signings that we've mentioned, and if Giovanni Smith gets sent down, as I think he will be, then the Barracuda will hit that 6-player limit. Now, if Justin Bailey, as you said, he re-signed. If Justin Bailey doesn't make the Sharks and is sent to the Barracuda, now you have too many veterans, and that's going to make a very interesting situation.
Yeah. So the CUDA might be actually good this year. I know J-Mac's still at the helm, but I'm curious if a new system helps J-Mac
they
at
should
all.
be a playoff team, but we'll see how they
you.
I just asked for playoffs. That's all I want. I just need to cover playoffs.
So Tiger says, I'm relieved after years of being bullied by Nick Cicek truthers. So yes, Nick Cicek's defense should be way better than the Nick Cicek era. And the Barracuda brought back my boy Ethan Frisch this year.
Oh, you love that man.
I love Ethan. What drives me nuts is that Nick Cicek could get an NHL contract a few years ago, but Ethan Frisch cannot. But hopefully Frisch will have.
So Joe will.
Yeah.
Mike Greer, if you're listening, if you'd like some advice.
It's a different era, though. It's a different era. The Sharks really actually needed to sign Cicek at the time. They don't necessarily need to sign Frisch, but Frisch is a way better defenseman than Nick Cicek. I digress.
And Cicek is now playing in Adler Mannheim.
That is
he wasn't one of like the 11 billion that signed with the KHL's Cumberland Red Star.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be stacked this year.
Like Nick Merkley, Ryan Merkley, Jaden Helbgewatz,
Kyle Wood, Danny O'Regan. There's 5 in total. 5 former Barracuda, all on the the Red Star Kunlun, who won, by the way.
All I'm going to say is, when do they change the name back to China Sharks? I mean, come on, at this point, like seriously. Oh my gosh.
Well played. But Jamie Baker is the head coach over there.
Oh my gosh. Bakes, if you're watching, we love you. Hope you're doing well. So looking there, Mike Greer enters the chat. Oh jeez.
I would faint.
Vincent Alvarado saying over under 50 points for Beastet.
I think I think I currently have Beasted as the second line center on my CUDA. Oh, I have it right here.
I do too.
Look at Jules. She's prepared. I have him currently with Bordelot and Cardwell. So yeah, I'll go on the over on that.
I don't have Bordelot in my Barracuda depth chart.
I don't think. Yeah. Anyways, go. Sorry, okay.
No, you're good. You're good. Finish your thought.
I don't see Bordelot making the big team this year, which is why I have him. But I think Beasted, I really like what I saw from him in his first few games. He was definitely a little on and off sometimes, but I think him and Cardwell and Portorowski and Gushin are a good one. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I am higher on Beasted than others. I think there's a really high ceiling there, maybe a lower floor. But I'm expecting a lot from Beasted this season. Probably too much, but I'll go over. Why not? Cardwell surprised me last year, so
I think if Philip Beasted could dial in his passing accuracy, that would help him tremendously. I, like you, have Philip Beasted as the second line. Well, let me rephrase that. I have him second on the depth chart at center behind Podorowski. I have him as a third line center because I think he's a better fit there than Tristan Robbins, who I have as the third center depth wise. I think Robbins fits the top 6 role better, but we'll have to see how. I'm sure it's going to be flipping around
like crazy, but I would not be surprised if Beasted surprises a few people.
So there is one thing on our rundown as we kind of go chronologically through this. We just talked about the signings on the first couple of days of free agency. Then on July 4th, the prospect camp happened.
Yes.
The prospect scrimmage happened, capping off the prospect camp that first week of July. Do you guys have any outlying thoughts about the prospect camp? Because for me, it was okay. Kasperi Halttunen is exactly what everyone has been telling me he is over the last year that I had been in denial over, and I became a Halttunen truther at that scrimmage.
I am a big Halttunen fan. I mean, it helps that he had an epic playoff run with the London Knights. Just seeing him and seeing Musty, I am super psyched for where this team is at, because I notice how I haven't said Will Smith or Macklin Celebrini in there. And let's not forget the guy who wore 48 have the guts to wear 48 and had an epic game.
Eric Polkamp has had 2 great camps in a row.
Yeah, another guy that I think people should start writing in is Brandon Svoboda. I remember when Greer traded up for him, I believe last 2023 draft, everyone was like, who the fuck is this kid? But in the last 2 camps, he scored twice, and I know that really should not matter, but it does. He has a really good shot. He made a really good impression down at the Team USA camp for World Juniors, and I think he's going to make the roster as a bottom 6 guy. But he could top out as a really good third line center, and guess where he's playing? Everyone take a wild guess. Boston University. Now, I don't think they're going to be as good this year, but that's a guy to look out for. I liked Edstrom, but I know he got traded, so we'll get to that. And then Will Smith. Oh, sorry, go, Lacey.
Another thing about Svoboda is he crashes the net very hard, and he has some really good hand-eye coordination in front of the net. So last year at camp, he had that deflection in goal, but he also, I believe, had 2 other redirections at the scrimmage this year that didn't go in, but they were good chances. And so he knows how to drive the net. And he had a really good U18 tournament for Team USA, as you mentioned. So definitely in that regard. Go ahead. There's another player I want to mention, but go ahead.
Yeah, no. One last thing. I really liked Smith and Musty's connection. I was talking to Puck Guy yesterday. Musty has an aura about him that he's just going to be a star in the league. I don't want to put that. I'm not saying he is going to be a star, but he is that aura. I don't give a shit what you said. I'm pissed that I fell in the draft. I'm pissed Celebrini and Smith are getting all the attention right now. He kind of has that little fire underneath him. So he's never split up Smith and Musty. Those 2, I think, are going to really good compliments to each other.
And as crazy as it is for me to say, because we're talking about Svoboda scored in both camps.
Right.
You know who else scored in both camps? a guy who inexplicably was playing the first half of this year's scrimmage with Macklin Celebrini, David Klee.
Oh, yeah.
Now, remember, David, or maybe you don't remember, because David Klee is one of the forgettable prospects that the Sharks drafted last year. And
Oh, that was last year?
That was last year.
Why did I think that was in 2020? Oh my god. Keep going,
Yeah,
sorry.
and he scored in both camps, and he is definitely not an offensive-minded player. Son of former Capitals defenseman Ken Klee, but Elite Prospects actually just did a thing on David Klee in their basically hottest USHL risers this week, and David Klee was among those players, and it talked about typically you don't see fourth liners in the USHL get drafted into the NHL, but he's solid enough defensively, and he has enough intangibles that it just works. And now I can't remember which college he's going to.
Let me look it up.
I think it's somewhere northeast, but the fact that you've got a late round pick who people were saying, why are the Sharks drafting this player? And it's been nothing but positivity around him since he was drafted. He's had 2 good showings in camp. He's defensively responsible. He's not going to be playing in the top 9 with the Sharks. But if you can get yourself a solid 4th line center, that's not the end of the world either. So I like what David Klee's done. He will probably never be mentioned again until next year's prospects camp.
Yeah.
But for right now, good on you, David Klee. North Dakota. I should have known. I should have known because that's my favorite program in college.
But like, I think also the goalie Christian Kirk, I believe, not Christian. Is that his first name? Hopefully that's his first name. But he looked sound. I know he got lit up at the end. But I do want to give a shout out to Celebrini for basically just dragging his team back in the game there towards the end. Even though the matchups, like Ian said, were definitely questionable who you were throwing out there against them. And but yeah, and I think Graf looked good, Cardwell looked good. I think everyone who was drafted was holding their sticks a wee bit too tight, but that's to be expected.
Yeah, no, totally for that.
Oh, and Igor Rimashevsky is a guy that I think we should shout out. He had a really good KHL season with who was it? He was playing with, I forgot what line of mate, but he had a good KHL season. Anyways,
so moving onward and kind of transitioning from Cuda to back to Sharks, you had Co, you had Bordelot, and you had Thrun get re-signed. Yep. And
the only one that was shocking to me was Co.
But it really wasn't, because Brandon, to me anyway, because Brandon Co, there is still room on the Barracuda for a player to kind of prove himself this season. And I think, in March, we were on a show together, Jules, saying there's no way he gets himself re-signed unless he has a really great last month of the season. And guess who had a great last month of the season? It was Brandon Co. So he gets the 1-year show me deal, because if he can't prove it here this year, here comes the next wave of prospects, and he's out of here.
Yeah.
And so after the prospect scrimmage, I'm kind of going backwards here. Celebrini does sign his ELC. A couple of days after Celebrini signs, Dickinson signs his ELC.
I hold up real quick with Dickinson. I love how everyone was freaking out on Twitter. He's not NHL ready, y'all. He can go back to juniors. Chill. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah. And then of course Chernishev leaves Russia, signs his ELC. It was shoulder surgery he had,
I believe.
Yep.
Oh, he's having,
he's having, and eventually he's going to be headed over to Saginaw in the OHL.
So the Saginaw Spirit front office was sitting directly behind me at camp, and shout out to their GM Dave. I can't remember his last name, but he just, hi, I'm Dave. Hi, I'm Kevin. It was awesome. We talked for a while. He was a really cool guy. So I would like to take the credit for convincing him to.
Did you actually?
Igor Chernyshov in the import draft the following week. But yeah, no, for real though, that's a good program. Saginaw just won the Memorial Cup. So it's a great program for one of our top prospects to move into.
Dave Drinkle.
There you go.
That's his
Playing for
name.
Ian's favorite team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which-
Yeah. Now poor
Ian's got to cheer for
Stop
the
it,
London
Tiger.
Knights and Saginaw.
Mhm.
Stop it, Tiger.
Oh,
But if you want to be part of the show and you have no idea what I'm talking about here, join the live chat right now in YouTube and have a great time.
yes. No. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. We are now into August, where Big Money Mike continues to make moves, helping the Oilers cap issues, getting Cody CC, everybody's favorite ragdoll in Canada, and Edmonton's 2025 third round pick, while Ty Emberson, who did avoid arbitration to sign with the Sharks, gets to play possibly for his former AHL coach, Chris Knobloch in Edmonton. Obviously,
I didn't like this.
this was around the time where Edmonton had to make a decision on their 2 offer sheets that the St. Louis Blues handed out.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like this trade at the time. I still don't, but I get why Greerzy did it. Like,
I think people, this is my moment. I haven't been able to, I haven't been on.
go for it, Lacey. This is your moment.
I think everyone is being way too dramatic about this. I'm trying not to swear, this freaking trade. This trade doesn't matter, folks. It doesn't matter. Ty Emberson's a waiver pickup who's the 7th best defenseman on every other team except maybe Chicago in this league.
Someone clip this.
Nobody cares about this other than the diehard Sharks fans. And yes, I liked Ty Emberson. He was probably the best defenseman that the Sharks had last year. But he's still the 7th best defenseman, if not the 8th best defenseman on Edmonton. He might go to waivers. So if it's that big of a deal, the Sharks can just pick him up at the end of September. Oh no, the Sharks got Cody CC. The Sharks are already going to be a bottom 5 team this year. He's going to make the Sharks become a bottom 3 team if he's that bad. Is that a bad thing? Who cares? Nobody cares. So stop it. Stop it with the Cody CC thing. Stop it with the, oh, well, I would have liked the Sharks to get a higher pick than a 3rd round pick with Cody CC. The Sharks got a 3rd round pick.
The Sharks got a pick, y'all.
They got a pick for him. They didn't get a 7th round pick. They got a 3rd round pick. They got something with CC. If you can't be happy, so hang on. If you can't be happy with the pick the Sharks got, you're never going to be happy with any trade the Sharks ever make. So just shut up. Stop complaining about everything. Stop it. It's driving me mad, as you can clearly see. It's not a big deal. So let's move on from the Cody CC trade. And guess what? If he actually becomes a good defenseman for the Sharks, don't we need that anyway?
We have Marc-Edouard Vlasic. We don't need that. We have a good defenseman. His name's Vlasic. Anyways,
thank you. I needed to get that out.
I mean, I live in the East Bay and Pixar hasn't been that animated before. My God.
Jesus.
Wow. But I mean, look,
like you're not wrong, Lacey. Like Lacey's not wrong.
And again, I like Ty Emberson. He was really good. I did think it sucked the Sharks traded him.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Because don't worry, at the deadline he can get moved for a pick.
For another 3rd round pick. And then you got 2 3rd round picks
which is what you gave up for the
pickup.
Right. You're finding money.
Yeah.
Essentially. So I'm the B plug 831.
Thank you.
Never change.
Yeah.
I needed to get that out.
Well. No, I appreciate and Tiger, Cody is going to get us a top 3 pick in 2025 when he scores.
Yeah, no, literally. I don't think Chicago's going to be I think Chicago's not going to be dead like with 31, but I agree.
No, and you know what, Molasses, you're making a good point there too.
Yeah.
So the Sharks got something from nothing, basically the defense version of the Mikey Acemont trade.
That's what that trade reminded me of. I was like, that feels like a very Mike Greer has done something similar where I'm like, I don't love it, but I get it, but I don't still don't love it.
I'm not saying like the trade. I'm not like you can not like a trade. I didn't like the trade either. I'm just saying don't blow it out of proportion. I see a lot of people flipping out over
this
this.
Isn't going to change the course of the rebuild
It's
for anyone out
not
there.
at all.
Like
Not
this
at all.
has no, if anything, this just gives the Sharks a power play quarterback. Like maybe, I don't know, but like sure, there's at least a decent defenseman we have now instead of like Children and Ferraro and Vlasic.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. So, and then there was the biggie that happened while I was at work. The biggie where I texted Kevin and going, "Oh my God, what the heck?
Oh,
This
I
is your
expect
Milwaukee
Kevin's full
Admirals?"
reaction right now. I expect Kevin's full reaction right now.
So we
This
had a,
DC was the precursor to the Askarov acquisition.
it was like the foreshock. This was the big one where the Sharks acquire Yaroslav, Askarov, Nolan Burke, and Colorado's 2025 third-round pick coming to San Jose in exchange for Magnus Krona, David Edstrom, who I feel for because now you're playing for another team, and the 2025 first-round pick from Vegas, of course, and if you don't know how that's going to work, the San Jose will have the choice to transfer either their own first-round selection in the 2025 NHL draft or the Vegas selection if the Vegas pick is top 10. So I am going to get out of the way. I'm going to just
I'm going to
let Kevin have the floor because you are a big Milwaukee Admirals fan. You were talking about, I mean, you made it on their socials during the All-Star weekend.
The Milwaukee Admirals social loves me, so I love them too. So no, this was a phenomenal trade. I mean, the one thing the Sharks didn't get that we're for now, because the Sharks drafted 2 goalies, Christian Kirsch and oh my God, I want to say Yuramenko, but that's wrong.
That's not no. What's his name?
Yaroslav.
Hang on, I got it for you.
Korostelev. That's right. Yaroslav Korostelev. Anyway, so they drafted 2 goalies. We'll see how they are. But the Sharks were missing the bona fide star prospect goalie. I don't think the Sharks have had a star prospect goalie since Mika Kiprusoff. Like this is big time. This trade is amazing. And the Sharks were able to take advantage. Yeah, they gave up a lot, but they really didn't give up a lot, like for what they could get. And so to basically trade most of what you got for Tomas Hertl for Yaroslav Askarov, well done, Mike Greer. Like now the Sharks have Celebrini, Dickinson, and Askarov as the future of the franchise at all 3 positions, plus all the other assets that the Sharks have gotten. It stinks. I feel like I'm going to steal some of your thunder, but I have the exact same thoughts, Jules. It does stink to lose David Edstrom, but you already have Philip Biested.
You have like 3 David Edstroms on the wings with Svoboda also throw in that mix.
Exactly. And then I love what you said on the live show about the picks, how the Sharks could basically have 2 lottery entries. Like, but even though they're trading one of them, they're not trading the lottery entry. They're
trading like because if Vegas somehow flops and the Vegas pick wins the lottery, the Sharks are picking first, and they're just giving away their pick to Nashville. So it gives you 2 lottery tickets also. But also Sharks now have like the best prospect pool, and I don't think it's particularly close.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for elite prospects to finish their run around the league this week. They're into the top 5 here, but I'm sure the Sharks are going to be 1 or 2. But it's crazy, guys, and everyone out there. Think about where the organization was last year around this time. You've got Martin Kaut talking about how dysfunctional the coaching staff is and telling him to fight 6'8" players when he's not even a fighter. And I'm trying to remember, there was another prospect that was complaining about the dysfunction. You've got outgoing veterans like, see ya, and it was just so demoralizing. Like, where's the turnaround? Like, it's that bad organizationally, both behind the scenes and on the ice. This is looking bleak. And now look at how everything is turned around this summer. There is so much hope for this team finally. And over the course of one calendar year. And Askarov is the cherry on top. He is the best under 23 goalie in the world.
You
And
don't count Jesper Wallstedt? You have him higher than Wallstedt?
Jesper Wallstedt is the second best under 23 goal. And that is not Sharks favoritism. That has always been my stance. Askarov is better than Wallstedt.
He's also now
So-
reunited with Mukhamadullin. So, no, they're good buds. And maybe we'll see the bench press goalie net thingy from Askarov. The kid has a personality, that I will say for sure. But
Definitely.
it's nice because the Sharks, I still think they need a right defense. I think that's the glaring hole now in the prospect pool. It's shifted from goaltender to right defense. So Logan Hensler, I cannot wait to talk about you. No, but like this filled a glaring hole, and now you have Celebrini, like you said, Celebrini, Dickinson, Askarov. Mind you, you casually have Will Smith there too. So
and Musty.
and Musty,
alternate. Yeah, I mean,
and
that's
Colton.
when you start go. So I mean,
Chernyshев.
and Eklund. I know he's not a
and
prospect, but don't.
Dickinson.
People are literally forgetting the Sharks have William Eklund. I'm not
Yeah.
kidding, because the pool is so goddamn deep now. The people are literally forgetting William Eklund got 45 points on a dog shit team. I saw this ridiculous stat from Big Head Hockey, and it was like the things that William Eklund did on this shitty team. Imagine when he has a lovingly put, not like just Zetterlund and Granlund, but Celebrini with Smith.
So this is what I hope kind of happens with Celebrini this year, because he's, even though he is a phenom, he's still going to be brand new to the pro game, and he's going to need to acclimate. And granted, I think it'll take him a lot faster to acclimate than William Eklund did. But you saw the growth and the progression of William Eklund as the season wore on. And yeah, it was tough to see him at times in such a dire situation that he was in with the Sharks last year. Celebrini's going to have to go through that himself here this upcoming season. But Eklund got through it. So Smith and Celebrini and maybe Mukhamadullin should be able to get through it as well. And then you move forward the year after this one. But it is just the sky's the limit right now with this organization on the ice.
They, in the future, if all of their like forward prospects pan out, and that's a big if because some just don't pan out and it happens, the Sharks in the future are going to score a lot of goals and are going to beat the shit out of you. That's the team Mike Greer is trying to build. Like, we're going to basically score you to death. Oh, and then we're going to have a giant defense that's just going to smack you into the boards with Luca Cagnoni chilling there in the background. But yeah.
There was a question earlier. I don't want to forget it, but we'll get a Cagnoni question, and I think in a little bit. Eric, what are your thoughts? I mean, you're like the biggest fan there is. So, like, what is your level of excitement for the future as well as the season?
I mean, the one big thing to me is that there is hope out there, and there wasn't any the last few years. I mean, you were hoping that, Shimolevsky and Chekovich were going to be the guys, and then they weren't, and had an epic fail on that, and then it ended up starting the tailspin, where you were putting out guys like, your Tykin and Yoel Shellman and Johnny Brodzinski, who's now gone on to do things great with the Rangers because, hashtag post-Teal syndrome. It's so nice to see hope on this team and to have that expectation, which, let's be honest, I don't think there's been that much expectation for the Sharks minor league team since maybe the Kansas City Blades in going in a 95, or they won the Turner Cup in 1992. Yes, I'm aging myself because it's the old International Hockey League.
Oh, I love the International Hockey League.
But it's one of those things where it's like, you want to go to a CUDA game? There's going to be some talent there. I fully expect them to make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, there's something wrong with your minor league system.
It's J-Mac, but yeah.
I'm not going to call him out for that because I did that with Roy Sommer for about 20 years, and look what it got us to. The thing is that there's hope. There's enough talent on this team to start making their headway, and not the least of which we haven't mentioned. Mikael Granlund is going to go into this season on a 13-game point streak. Zetterlund has a 20-goal season on him.
Did you all see the video of him lifting? Sorry, my bad. Go.
No, you go.
Of him lifting the 600 pounds. The dude's about to truck people. Anyways, I'm done. Keep going.
And that's the biggest thing, though, is that you have that. You hope your defense is a little bit better. You have Blackwood, who played pretty decently in front of a horrific defense. You hope Vanacek is okay, and if not, Askarov is right there, ready to go. And he wouldn't sign with the Sharks unless he knew there's a pathway, And the thing is that I mean, I don't think there's been this much excitement in the organization, let alone the fan base, in quite some time. There's already going to be sellouts at the tank. Just think if this team gets on a hot streak, and I'm not going to lie. When I went back down to Vegas for the Wheel of Fortune slot tournament that I was at, I put a 20 down for the Sharks to make the playoffs.
All right.
At 10,000 to 1.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, why not?
Which now is 5,000 to 1.
Okay.
So I mean, that'd be nice for it to happen. But I think more than anything, I would love for them to make progress. If they could hit 30 wins, that would be awesome. Because I think there were a lot of 1-goal losses that they were in, and I think there's ways that they can find. I think if this team can get through it, and it depends on how everything turns out. You have Doug Huda. And who was our other assistant that we got from Abbotsford? I forget. I forget who are So I really feel confident in this group that we're going to get it turned around. And you have. I know we're going to be all Adam Burge. Oh, we have a Stanley Cup winner, but it's Tyler Toffoli. He can still score. He can still do things. He can still be a mentor to these guys. And to know exactly that that's what there's going to happen. That's not going to be a cup, contender happening, for sure. It's nice to see that they have a chance at that.
The Sharks don't need to win this season. In fact, we don't want them to really win this season. But the Sharks need to build team camaraderie and culture this year. That is the end goal of this season. And I mean, there's going to be a big flaw if that doesn't happen. But the way that the pieces have been put in place this year, and you have the mentorships of Celebrini and Smith from Thornton and Marlowe this year.
Yes.
They are building a culture. And as long as they work together as a team, which is what David Quinn was trying to get out of them the last 2 years. But you're going to have a different philosophy and I guess a different take on it from Warsofsky this year. So hopefully that all comes together, and with Cody Ceci in the fold. And
Cody Ceci might be the Sharks' best defenseman right now.
Him or Jake Wallman, for sure.
Jake Wallman too.
Jake Wallman. I do want to. I found the stat I was referring to with William Eklund. From Big Head Hockey, everyone with 40 plus points and a plus minus of minus 45 or lower in the cap era. William Eklund this season, I think, is the only one. So wait till Eklund actually gets a good team, and don't forget about Willie. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, no, totally.
And I meant, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Molasses. I swear, if we lose the first game of the season, y'all start talking.
No, I won't. Listen. Last year I kind of had to because every game was just horrible, and I was basically praying Musty and Cagnoni were getting hat tricks each night. I'm hoping it's not as bad this year.
Yes.
I want to mentioned the comment that Ludovic Sanchez had about bring back Afanasiev. Now, maybe he's friends with Askarov. Like they both came from Milwaukee. That's not necessarily wrong. Like maybe Afanasiev sees how things go this year and comes back. I don't know what his KHL deal is, if he's multi-year or not, but I guess it doesn't really matter since they don't honor contracts in the KHL. But maybe he does come back. And then talking about earning favor with fellow GMs. The Sharks traded first round pick Ozzy Weisblack to Nashville. The player that the Sharks got from Nashville immediately left for Russia, but the Sharks got Askarov. So, you get we know we're not really giving you anything because Afanasiev didn't want to be in Nashville either. So we're giving you a shot. But right there's a card that Mike Grier can go, hey, remember when we, had that kind of last chance trade and we gave you one of our decent prospects in Weisblatt, can we talk about Askarov here? These are why Mike Grier makes these trades. This is why Barclay Goodrow gets claimed off waivers and why Cody Ceci gets brought in. And so
Jake Wallman too.
There's a long game to this. So that goes back to why I was screaming about Ceci earlier. Let things play out. What?
You were screaming about Ceci earlier?
Yeah. Let things play out. There's no reason to go full nuclear in the chat when the Sharks made a trade. Let it play out.
I want to hear Lacey's top 5 Sharks prospects right now.
Okay. Well, I will tell you right now that the Sharks added 5 prospects into my top 11 in this offseason alone. That's how good this offseason was. So at number 5, I have Sam Dickinson, 6'3" defenseman. I've got 6'3" forward Quentin Musty at 4.
I'm seeing a trend here, Lacey.
I've got Will Smith at 3, Yaroslav Askarov as the number 2 prospect in the organization, and then Macklin Celebrini is obviously number 1. But yes, I think that highly of Askarov. And
where's Musty? I'm just curious. Oh, wait, Musty was 4. Okay.
Yeah. So
sorry.
That's my reverse order.
Has Haltonen moved up at least?
Haltonen, let's see. So I have Haltonen at 7 now, and last year I had him at 12.
Who's your 6?
Shakir Muhammadulin.
Solid.
The fact that Muhammadulin's like the 5th, like, where's Philip Beested? The fact that Beested is not in the top.
Beested. Actually, I have Philip Beested at 10.
Yeah, that should show you just how ridiculously deep this pool is. Like the fact that you have Beested at 10, I'd say arguably in any other team, he's probably top 10, maybe like top 6, top 7.
Yeah, I'll just run down my. So I've got Beested 10, Bordelot 9, Chernyshov 8, Haltonen 7, and then Muhammadulin 6, and then I already mentioned the other guys. So
Sharks forwards are just absolutely stacked.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And my next defenseman is Salim Valenius at 11.
So that is nice list of
when did the
prospects.
Sharks ever have such a good prospect pool?
It's been a long time.
Never.
Yeah. I want to get back to Vincent Alvarado. Since we've got prospects going again. Vincent Alvarado asks, how do you see Cagnoni faring in the AHL if he makes it? I think he's going to be all right, but I actually think Cagnoni's going to be in for a little bit of a rough ride here defensively if he does play in the AHL this year. I have concern. I know he's looked pretty good in the camps, but I have concerns of him being an undersized defenseman in the pro game and not really being like, I mentioned previous captain Andrew Agazzino and William Eklund and Daniil Gushchin and Ethan Cardwell last year, like smaller players, but they don't care that they're going to go out and try and be 6'4" out there. They're going to grind and not get shoved around at all. I don't see that with Cagnoni. I see him being a very finesse, offensive minded defenseman. And so I do think if he goes up against physical forwards at the pro game, he's going to struggle a bit. So that's why I'd like to see him go back to junior. Jules, do you have any thoughts on that?
I just think the defense is a bit clogged up right now, and I don't see a path for Cagnoni to make it. Because mind you, the Sharks also have Jake Furlong, who's coming over. They still have Gannon LaRock, who I'd love to actually see a full-time role this year with the CUDA. I think Jack Thompson's the guy we forget about, but the Sharks have him. And I think Mukamadulin's splitting probably like 50-50 this year. So it's just too clogged up. And then with the additions of Schultz and Carlson, I don't see a path there for him.
I agree with all that. Is Jack Thompson still unsigned?
Was it? I thought he was signed.
Is he signed?
Let me. Why can I not? I don't know how to function. Oh, hold on. Hello. Okay. Please insert like.
Please hold. Do.
I'm on. Wikipedia doesn't show me that. Okay. Keep talking. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. So there's all that there. I mean, honestly, what do you expect from both of these teams, the CUDA and the Sharks, Kevin?
So I don't think
I know it's way early to do a prediction, and I get that we're still a month away from opening.
1 year left, according to Ludovic as well. So thank you for that. I think the Barracuda are a playoff team this year, but I mean, 7 teams make the playoffs in the Pacific Division, although it's a shortened playoff for that particular division. So I always say it's not hard to make. You're doing something wrong, as the Barracuda have the last 2 years, if you don't make the playoffs in the Pacific. I think they should be able to make that no problem, but I do see them being right around the middle of the pack in the overall scheme in the AHL this year. So I definitely think if they finish in, let's say, the top 12, that is capital gains for that team. I do think they're not a 500 team, but just a middle of the pack team. But it's still, hey, finishing 30th each of the last 2 years, 30th to 32nd, it's a vast improvement. The Sharks, unfortunately, I do see them being a bottom 5 team this year, if not bottom 3. And that's why I say give these new players some time to gel as a team and for the young guys, because I think Quentin Musty gets a 9-game tryout with the Sharks.
Oh, same.
Year.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a lot of youth to start. What's up?
Musty just has an aura, and I don't know if we'll get to the ice skating from yesterday, but like just has this aura about him. Like I think he has a chip on his shoulder falling to 26.
Yeah. Hopefully it's a better chip on his shoulder than former Shark Philip Zadina, who just signed in Switzerland, I believe.
Yeah.
With Davos, if I'm not mistaken.
Davos, yeah, that's what I thought.
Sorry.
Well, it is Davos, but I hear it back and forth, so I just train my brain. Anyway.
Second is the first preseason game, I think.
It's the 22nd. That's against the Vegas Golden Knights at 5
might be
o'clock.
there.
We might be there. We might do that from the tank. Our first preseason After Dark live from the tank, just because that could be the debut of Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith on the ice for the Sharks. We'll see how that goes.
Well, and Rookie Faceoff,
and then Rookie Faceoff, that'll be his first on the San Jose ice, I should say, in a full Sharks game. Are we going to the neighborhood game? Might be tough for me, since it's a weekday with the new job and such. We'll just follow us on our socials. That's what we do.
I got Vincent asking about Braden Hache. I think we may need to save that, but funny enough, Saginaw's GM Dave Drinkel behind me, that was one of the players we chatted about for a lot. Also Keaton Middleton, former Barracuda player. But yeah. Neighborhood game, for those of you who don't know, it is the Sharks idea to try and generate new fandom amongst people who have never really watched hockey or been to a Sharks game before. So it's I think it's more affordable ticketing, but it's being geared towards people who are new to hockey. I actually got an email invite to go to that game, but I would like to think I know a few things about hockey. I may not be the smartest person you hear on this show, but so I am not planning on going just because I want to give opportunity to the the intended audience.
Yes, and to grow the game is the key here for sure. Molasses, this is a extra preseason game at the Shark Tank on September 24th.
Yeah.
So it's a unique perspective. They
I'm sure
usually
they'll
play
have
6
Celebrini
games.
play that one.
Yeah. So
Now
we'll
that I'm
see.
Are they you're saying Vegas is also playing on the 24th as well?
Vegas is playing the 22nd versus
22nd.
the Sharks.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The
So
Sharks
there's
are
that.
playing. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Because
But
I was thinking split squad. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm sure I'm interested to see what the Sharks do in preseason and like if they separate Celebrini and you know what I mean? Like I'm just curious to see because they're gonna have a lot of rookies testing out for a spot. Because I think Dickinson probably gets into at least one preseason game and then gets sent back. But like I'm curious to see what they do. Like because they have so many young guys like Musty, you have Halton, you have I can go on and on.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yes. So the neighborhood game is kind of the culmination of the entire Sharks Around the Bay tour that the team is doing. They started on Saturday, at the Oakland Ice Center where Musty and Colin Graff were at. Of course, today they were in Japantown with Blackwood and Vanacek.
They couldn't spell Blackwood's name correctly.
Yeah, please for the Taco Bell Cantina on Wednesday, graphics department, spell your players' names properly.
Oh my gosh. So Jules and I, Felix will be there on Wednesday. The other thing too is like we were there yesterday at the Oakland Ice Center, and let's just say, hey, we got a picture. But Musty, we love you.
Baby face on Colin Graff.
Yeah, I know.
But Musty, know your audience, dude.
Yeah, seriously, bud.
Somebody on Twitter help him out a little bit. Put the Giants cap on. So
that is a great graphic.
So I forget who did it, but shout out to you for doing that. But of course,
it's like Will Smith season or something.
Of course, Jules just told me that it was her third time ice skating. And so, she wanted me to share this.
All right, let me give some clarity. No, hold up.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I had a ball hockey tryout game like right before this, so my legs were kind of effed up to begin with. So let me try again when I don't have a tryout the same morning. Anyways, you may go now.
So Kevin, all I'm going to say is that
you got this, Jules. Come on.
I love how the phone is out. Oh, and that's the Fanatics hoodie.
Yeah, there's the Fanatics hoodie on that. So some work to do.
I really want to grab Jules' hand right now and just like escort her. Like, come on, dear. Let's.
So in the long run, it was
bend your knees.
See, that's what I'm saying. Bend your
knees out over your feet. Oh, you flipping me off?
But in the long run, it's her third time skating. She wants.
And
to
I
get
literally
into
had
it.
a game right before that where I scored 2 goals. So
Yes.
there you go.
Wait, you played?
Yeah, I tried out for a ball hockey league and I scored 2 goals in
cool.
my first 2 shifts, and then I think it was like minus like 15. So we're not gonna talk about that part. But yeah.
So she'll fit perfectly on the Barracuda this year. So
if you need someone who can't skate, let me know.
No, Nick Chichek's in Germany now.
Oh my god.
So yes. So look at
Tiger. Oh my god. Okay. Anyways,
so it was a fun time. She's gonna get better. Don't worry. Hashtag no free ads. We're gonna get her lessons, and she's gonna be able to play in the Owen Nolan Scott Hannon.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Game that's at like Tech CU Arena in April.
I'm gonna get demolished.
So that'll be fun. So Jules is gonna instant starfish when Eklund's on the ice.
Oh, watch me just suddenly become like a great skater the minute I see it.
I thought that was gonna happen, when Graff and Musty were on the ice.
No.
And then next thing you know, she's clinging onto my arm as I'm skating over because the guys were standing in the middle of the ice and she's not letting go of the boards. So I'm like, we got to go over there to
like,
take
"No,
the
we don't.
picture. Yeah,
No,
we
we
do. And did you fall?
Almost at the end.
But did you fall?
Almost at the end. My
But
statement still stands.
But you didn't. Even in the rut at the Zamboni entrance. So
Oh, dude,
that's-
that Zamboni entrance was horrible. It was
I'll-
like a giant rut in it.
all I'm going to say is I think it's best to nominate the Oakland Ice Center for Craft Hockeyville this year if that's happening in the U.S. again. That's all I'm saying. I think the boards were there when I first started in 1995.
Yeah, but it was a fun event. Musty signed my bobblehead of him, so that was nice.
Yes. Cool. And gave him a heart attack because
oh yeah.
Come on.
I broke the bobblehead like right beforehand, I think. And so when Musty grabbed it, he like ripped himself off the hold on, let me go grab this.
Go grab it. Yes. It was hilarious. Oh my gosh. So while we do that, in case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher. We'll be putting this on the audio side. If you're watching us on the replay, thank you. I appreciate you standing through this 2-hour episode. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell all your friends so that way we can definitely see you back here next time. Thank you to the 31 who would give us a thumbs up. But again, it really helps us out if you give us some love in the comment section or a thumbs up. It really does. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. We will be on throughout the preseason. And then, of course, opening night, October 10th at the Shark Tank. And, of course,
a few of us will be there.
Yes. And Sunday Fun Day will begin on October 6th. So be on the lookout for that as well.
On YouTube, Brad. Oh, never mind.
You actually got it right.
Oh, I did? Oh,
yeah.
sick.
Okay. Yes.
Cool.
So, go ahead.
And I really don't hate Nick Cicek as much as I portray. It's you guys feeding the beast all the time. He's actually quite a great person and an okay hockey player who is still way better than me. Let's be real.
So this was the bobblehead, and if you can't tell, it just kind of came off, and that's what Musty did when he grabbed it before he signed it, and I gave him a heart attack, but he did end up signing it. So Quentin Musty signed bobblehead from Sudbury.
That's basically Quentin Musty's feet leaving the ice. So
yeah, there you go.
Quentin Musty has a tendency of getting suspended, so it's like a lifelike bobblehead. So
he's very tall. Yeah.
So with that, Kevin, your final thoughts?
Thanks for having me on. I got to let out 3 months worth of pent up off season.
Well, let's be honest. Let's be honest here. Your schedule with your work is very busy.
I'm happy to be on. Jules messaged me last night and asked if I wanted to come on, and I told her tonight might be the only night this entire month that I can actually make the show. So I appreciate being allowed to join you guys today, and thanks to everyone for watching and still caring about what I have to say. And about 60% of what I say is right, then we'll go from there. I'm at Kevin Lacey 22 on social media. If you'd like to chat with me, I will try not to yell at Cody Cece too much.
All righty, Jules. It's been a fun summer doing everything. I mean, what we've went to prospect scrimmage, the
prospect
draft,
scrimmage, Vegas, the free agency live stream. I've been on so much this summer, and guess what? The season starts in 2 weeks, so y'all will be seeing my face a lot this semester. I'm not. That's wrong term, girly. Wrong term. This year. But when the Sharks do good, it's good. Thank you, Ian Reed, for that line, and I'm absolutely gonna steal it right now.
Gotcha. So she's at Sharks_Jules on the socials.
Look out for live tweets from the prospect scrimmage, the prospect people playing this weekend.
Yep. Jules will be hopefully doing the gifting while I'm at work with the Sharks starting on Friday, Saturday, and Monday. No Sunday game, I don't think.
Usually they have a day off after the first couple of games.
Okay.
So
So we'll figure out what we're gonna do. I don't know if we're gonna do them after dark or whatnot, or we'll do a recap that Monday night. We will see. Nonetheless, it's been a crazy off season. We are almost there, folks. We have 2 weeks before the preseason begins.
Yes.
Later this
Sorry.
this week, the kids are coming in. Look, they're already in already to be here, and next week it's media day and the guys are hitting the ice for training camp. So the last thing I'm going to say before we get out of here, and Paul Medina, thank you for mentioning it, because we talked about Brody Brazil before, and first off, we love Brody, the bunch of love to him, and we'll see him down the road, and trust me, we will be bugging him to be on After Darks. But one of the first ones besides Brody to give us some love was Shalana Goldman. If you saw her tweets earlier this week, she is not going to be on the Sharks beat. She'll be at some games as much. I think she said she was going to be at opening night, but she's got the full-time gig going on, and it's a great gig for her. Freaking love her to death. I mean, every time there's too many men on the ice, we totally have to, Venmo her, a bunch of money to use hella dudes on the ice for it. But Shalana, we freaking love you. You have no idea how much we really appreciate what you brought to us nearly 10 years ago. And we appreciate what you did to help us get out of the 9 people watching us live, recapping Sharks and Kings. I mean, Shalana was on with me and Ian the night that COVID was starting to shut down everything, when the Sharks lost to the Blackhawks, and then the NBA shut down midway through that night. So she's been with us around for a lot of things. So Shalana, we love you. We wish you all the best. And she said she will more than love to be on for some road games this year. So we will get Shalana on. It'll be freaking amazing to have her on with us again, because it's been a while, and we love her to death. So, but wish you all the best. We wish you love, Shalana. We wish you all the best to everyone. I think the conversation is going to continue in the Discord. So it's going to be a fun night, as if football's on, hockey's back. So get ready.
The Niners play tomorrow. Go Niners.
The Niners play tomorrow. The Sharks are coming around.
Pretty.
We got hope happening here. So wish you all the best. And until then, thank you for watching. And we will see you in San Ramon on Wednesday and throughout the preseason and training camp. Until then, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Have a great night, everyone.